Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
So we got a little bit of an update on the Greek Freak Giannis. Doc Rivers saying going to be out 1 to 2 weeks, probably closer to 2 weeks, but they're hoping maybe sooner with that groin strain. So on one hand, you can look at it as like, hey, it could be a lot worse. Could be a whole lot worse. On the other hand, it's like that's still a couple of weeks of no Giannis. And can this Bucks team tread that water until Giannis comes back? They're at 8-7 at this current point in time. You look at their upcoming schedule, and they're going up against playoff caliber teams right now. Pistons. Well, first off, you got the 76ers tomorrow. And then you got the Pistons on Saturday, which right now, top team in the East when you look at wins and losses record-wise. Then you got the Trailblazers on Monday. NBA Cup game with the Heat. Another one with the Knicks. And then you got the Brooklyn Nets. So if you're looking at maybe 7 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, 7 games, and then the Wizards on the 1st. Just throw them in there. Then the Bucks go up against the Pistons again December 3rd. Let's assume maybe that target date is that Giannis is back out on the court for December 3rd. Let's take a look at those 7 games. 7-8 games. Can this Bucks team maybe have a winning record and just kind of tread that water, keep their head above water? Because, again, they don't have like a Dame before Dame got hurt last year. They don't have that guy where it's like, feed it. Feed it to him. He's our main scorer. He's our go-to guy. They don't have that. Who's the go-to guy now for the Bucks with no Giannis? That's a legit question. Can this team win without Giannis for an extended period of time? We'll find out. We're about to find out. This team was specifically built with Giannis playing a majority of the time, with Giannis playing a lot of minutes, a lot of games. Because you don't have that Robin to his Batman. You don't have that other go-to option. It's going to take everybody. It's going to take Miles Turner to step up his game another level. It's going to take Kyle Kuzma, who's been playing some solid hoops, but there's going to be more on his shoulders. Bobby Portis. Ryan Rollins has to continue to do what he has been doing from an offensive perspective as well. In the other part, just let's play better defense. Let's play some solid defense. Let's up the defensive game. Do you slow it down a little bit on the offense? Here we go. Let's see what this team is made of without Giannis. How big of a drop-off is there going to be? There's going to be a little bit. Let's not kid ourselves. There's going to be at least a little bit of a drop-off with no Giannis in the lineup. You're talking about the only guy right now with, averaging 30-10? Which, I know that's kind of like nitpicking because, Jokic is 29.2 points per game and such. But still, for a team that built completely around Giannis and trying to utilize his unique skill sets and shooters and such, now we're not going to have him for a couple weeks. It's going to take everybody. It's got to be a collective effort from this group. If this team can go out there and put together a nice stretch and win a bunch of games without Giannis, this would give me, and I think a lot of Bucks fans, a little bit more hope, or maybe like improve our mindset or our thoughts about this team later on in the season. I know it's still early. We're not even through the first quarter of this NBA season. But if this team can rally and win some of these ball games against some quality opponents without Giannis, it would give me a lot more confidence, too, going forward in this ball club that, hey, maybe they can do some damage in the postseason. and inadvertently too, maybe help give some confidence to this team themselves. Like, hey, we know it runs through Giannis. We know it's all about Giannis. But let's step up our game here now. And if they do that, it was like, okay, hey, we can do this too. It's got to be a collective effort. Everybody. A.J. Green. Gary Trent Jr. All those guys got to step it up. When your leader's down, when you're leading scorer, when you're leading, an MVP candidate, MVP player is down, and you don't have that Robin or that second co-Batman, whatever you want to call it, it's got to take everybody. Maybe, maybe from Ryan Rollins' perspective, just continue to do what he has been doing so far this season, which has been, surpassing, I think, any sort of expectations or any thoughts that we had on him. That guy has just been balling this year. Most improved player, comeback player, whatever you want to call it, whatever is appropriate for this, Ryan Rollins has got to be up there. For the job that he has done, it's been fantastic. But you look at some of these other numbers. He is the second leading scorer on his team, averaging 17.4 points per game. Is there going to be more opportunities for him? Possibly. How do defenses they're probably going to play the Bucks differently now too. So how does Doc Rivers counter that? Knowing that these teams are going to play him a little bit differently. Kuzma and Turner, though, if I had to pick two, those are the two guys I really want to see elevate. And I would say Bobby Portis, too. Those are the guys. Gary Trent Jr. Looking at Gary Trent Jr., and I think A.J. Green to an extent, too. But you look at Gary Trent Jr. and kind of what he's done so far this season. He finished off the month of October averaging 13.4 points per game. But so far in November, it's been down to 8.6 points per game. Minutes getting cut just a little bit here, too. Not a whole lot. You're talking about a couple minutes here. Been coming off the bench a couple times and such. But, I think we want to see a little bit more from him. Maybe an opportunity here for A.J. Green to get more scoring chances, too. Coming off that contract in the offseason. So far this year, he's averaging 10.9 points per game. But from three, he is shooting a ridiculous 47.4%. This team was going to shoot a lot of three-pointers this year and hopefully make a lot of them. They may be shooting a lot more three-pointers with no Giannis in his lineup. They may be chucking that thing up a little bit more. And maybe they play a little bit more inside out with Miles Turner. But Miles Turner can play a little bit on the outside too. So, what should be a realistic expectation for Miles Turner? Because he is going to be the guy that a lot of people are going to look at in terms of, okay, that's got to be the guy that steps up, be our go-to guy, be our leading scorer. And right now this year, he's averaging just 12.3 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game. He was never a big, double-digit rebounder. And a lot of it is because he does play on the outside. But, he's a career average 6.8 rebounds per game guy. He's a career 14 points per game type of guy. The most he's averaged in a season was 18 back in 2022-23 for the Pacers. Ironically, though, this year, so far, and it's probably going to come down a little bit, he is shooting 43.4% from three. Highest of at any point in his career. Beating last year's mark, which was his best, 39.6% from three. But I think it's fair to ask a little bit more from him. Asking him, and essentially, it just could be as simple as, okay, no more Giannis. We got to get the ball to Turner more. We got to get him more involved in the offensive game plan. You look at Bobby Portis. Is that going to be a guy now that's maybe going to get some starter minutes with no Giannis? And you look at his season so far, and he's been a guy that I think, within the shuffle of, you bring in a guy like Turner, then you have Kyle Kuzma and such, maybe getting lost a little bit in that shuffle because he's only averaging 9.7 points per game. Last year, 13.9. The year before, 13.8. The year before that, 14.1, 14.6. I mean, he's been a double-digit scorer pretty much his whole career, especially when it's come to Milwaukee in that. Hasn't started a game yet this year. His minutes are down. He's only averaging about 20.9 minutes per game so far. Last year's 25.4, the same the year before that, 26, 28. His three-point percentage is better so far this year. Again, that might come down to more games. You get into it, but that's going to be a guy that I think you ask or you game plan more to get a little bit more production from. And I think this is a heck of an opportunity for Kyle Kuzma as well. This is a guy that is under the microscope for a lot of people, a lot of Bucks players. I mean, he's a guy that I think still some people are wondering, is he going to be traded before the trade deadline? Is he a guy that's going to be on the move? He 2022, 23 season, 24 season for Washington. Yeah, he was their guy, and he was asked to be their guy, and he averaged over 20 points per game. Can he do that for the Bucks? Do the Bucks want him to do that? He has shown that ability. He can be that guy. I mean, even his second year in the league with the Lakers, he was putting up 18.7 points per game. But it's definitely an opportunity for Kuzma to showcase, hey, I can still be a go-to guy. I can still be a consistent presence. I can still be a solid player in this league and a big-time contributor in this league. And the Bucks are going to need it. Everybody's got to step up and elevate their game in the absence of Giannis. But if there was probably a couple guys that really have to, it'd be Kuzma and Turner.